have to make the cookies just the way Grandma makes them. I can't tell you what's in that cookie, but if you change any part of that process, the cookie will be different. So we have to figure out what the engineering trick here is going to be, is to figure what are those commonalities, remove the complexity from this, add some consistency, and platformatize. We call it platformation, right? Create some platform out of it that's not quite a biologics platform, but it's not bespoke instruments for every unit operation tied together.
And some of that will come from real-time analysis, different biosensors, artificial intelligence, being able to...
Better understanding of the process.
Yeah, but...
Yes,
exactly.
But so let's just throw this out. It's been asked many times before. Is the process the product still? Where are we?
God,
no.
If the process is the product, you don't have a
product. I knew you were going to answer that.
You don't have a product.
But that's an evolution. People are not talking that way anymore. It's good. The product
is good.
The product is the product.
You do hear it less now than you used to hear, but it's always been something that creates, shivers.
And again, I think that's the legacy of biotech. I mean, that's where that mantra came from. And I think it is almost breaking of the shackles. And what's really interesting for me is to see across the industry this shift from almost hanging on the coattails of biotech and trying to get that almost attention. There is now an industry which is viable, which is emerging, which big pharma's keen to try and tap into, and we now have clinical success. For me, that has been the key driver. I think until we had real clinical success, where we could show that we could treat significant indications, great clinical data, that is now what I think has allowed the industry to stand on its own 2 feet and say, well, we're still in the infancy, there's still lots of challenges, but we can now build on this platform.
So let's, on the table here, throw out a design for manufacturing of the future. What is it going to consist of that is able to, be flexible and accommodating, but be able to define and control these variable products? What does it look like? Let's end now and think about in the future. What is the facility of the future?
If I told you, I'd have to kill you.
No. You can tell us some piece of it.
We're all looking at you, Bob.
Yeah. Well, we've been thinking about it. We've been working on it. I mean, the primary reason why we sold our company to Hitachi Chemical Corporation was because of the massive amount of engineering, application engineering expertise the company has. We went from 17 engineers in what we call the Center for Innovation and Engineering to, 170,000 engineers or something, right? That make everything on the planet, that can just make anything.
Yeah.
Right.
And so I think what I can say is we call it the Superior Delivery Platform, and it's made up of a number of elements. Information systems are a huge part of that, right? Just information gathering, data, tying all that together. The next layer of that is a platform that is for us, a global platform harmonized around the world. So it's the same wherever you go. And so as you put something in Europe, you can actually transfer that to some other facility and not have a comparability.
So integration of the liquid side among many different unit operations, which doesn't exist in many places right now.
That's the next layer. The next layer is to layer on top of that, right, is to have the unit operation approach to understand exactly what you need, inputs and outputs of each unit operation.
And can change from
and
product
each
to
one
product.
of those is adaptable enough
Absolutely.
to meet the demands of every cell product that's out there. Right? I honestly don't think it's rocket science. It's just a matter of not thinking, let's just put ourselves into a device that's made for my product.
Right, and you can make it specific to each product by that data that you're collecting.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's the platform.
that's the platform.
So integration of data, integration on the liquid side, and
I think
what else?
modular systems. I mean, I think that and which you can harmonize the technology, and I think that's always been a downfall of the industry. That we have technologies which we can't connect together, and even simple things such as connectors. I think harmonizing that, having standards in place, I think is critical to this industry, and also that harmonization between standards, regulation, and the manufacturing strategy. I think is all relevant to this. But for me, it's going to be a flexible, modular type system where, going back to that word automation, but I'd rather use a different word, autonomy, where you have a system based on the data that you're collecting, that you are able to start having a system that can almost make decisions based on certain parameters and so on and so on. And I think we're starting to see that. I mean, we're seeing some very nice things emerge from Novartis's work and so on, where they're thinking along these sorts of lines, and I think that will be the way that we move forward in this industry.
Obviously, we're getting rid of clean rooms where everything is closed.
I think if we still,
I mean,
if we
that's
still have
obvious.
open manufacturing platforms run by humans in clean rooms, then I think we're in trouble.
If we have clean rooms in 5 years, we're in trouble.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. But there's no indication that we're not on that trend. I mean, there's
No,
lots
it's
of work
clearly
going
on
on
it.
there.
And they will exist for the early phase products.
Yeah,
It's okay.
exactly.
I mean, it's a whole progression,
Yeah.
but by the time you're moving into phase 3 and certainly
Exactly.
commercial,
Yeah.
Exactly.
we have to be out of that model. We do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Excellent.
And we will be.
So why don't we end there? But thank you very much.
Thank you.
Is that good? Is that how you wanted to end? We
Yeah,
can talk
that's
about how to
fine,
end things.
That's good.
Spot on 20 minutes, was it? You could.
You can, I mean, if in the next meeting you're going to say, later we'll discuss.